BBC Sounds. Music, radio, podcasts.
Hello, it's Gary Lineker here. You know the drill with these by now. Don't expect your usual match of the day analysis. And we might have to get the bleep machine out from time to time when the boys get overexcited. Thanks for listening. Welcome to Match of the Day Top 10. Ian Wright and Alan Shearer in situ in their living rooms, as ever these days, of course. I'm actually wondering about when life does eventually, and hopefully it will, in not too distant future, return to normal, what it would be like actually going to the studio and meeting up and doing it together again. Might be a bit odd. I'm getting used to being at home. It just makes things quite easy.
It's rubbish, yeah. The studio. I'm starting to feel more and more like, you know, doing it here now, you know, the studio's a bit overrated for me.
We'll have to remember when we get back in the studio, we can't swear anymore.
That's a very good point.
It's funny because my mother-in-law, to be honest, my mother-in-law wasn't happy. So you won't be hearing that kind of language from me again. Did
you get a ticking off?
Yeah, oh, man. Yeah, because we, you know, she called up, because she watches them. She finds it very, very insightful, because she's an older lady, you know, in her 70s, and she loves listening to it. And she says, "Oh, Ian." When she done that, I was, oh, God. Yeah, and then, you know what I mean? So I said, I'm going to apologise. I apologise, Mama.
Oh, that's good. What about you, Alan? How are you doing up there?
Yeah, not too bad. Much of the same, Gary. Cutting the grass, cleaning the patio, walking the dog, practicing my putting.
This week's subject is the slightly different, but it is in the Premier League era still, because obviously we all know that football didn't exist much before that. But this is the top 10 Ballon d'Or winners. And
wow.
Let's put it this way, it's quite a list. Let me read it out to you. Here we go. We've got Cristiano Ronaldo, Kaká, Luis Figo, Marco van Basten, Lionel Messi, Rivaldo, Roberto Baggio, Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, and Zinedine Zidane, who finishes at the bottom of any alphabetical order, I would think. But crikey, first and foremost, what a list. Even the list of those that are not on it is quite impressive. You've got Cannavaro, Michael Owen, Modric, Shevchenko, Nedved, Sammer, George Weah, and Stoichkov. Good luck with this one, chaps.
You know something? Out of this list, Al, I was thinking this list, Gal, thinking, if you're one of these players, you've probably never, ever been 10th in your life in anything with these players. We're talking about ones and twos with the level of player we're dealing with here. This was as difficult as it gets.
Sat doing this list earlier this morning and yesterday, I'm thinking, how on earth can I put him at number 10, or even him at number? It's like I just feel so guilty with the names. I mean, you've just mentioned the names that are not on this list.
Would any of those sneaked in for you? But I mean, the level of the top 10 is unbelievable.
Well, any one of them could have sneaked in. It doesn't really matter, because whoever's won the Ballon d'Or, it's no fluke. You deserve to do it because you're a special player. But the list of 10 that we've got, I mean, getting it from 1 to 10 is just madness.
It is madness. Before we actually go into assessing all the various players and their talents, etc., just about the three of us first. Alan, none of us actually won the Ballon d'Or, but you went close. What, 96? You were third behind Sammer, who obviously it was the Euros, the Germans won, and Brazilian Ronaldo, right?
Yeah, that's right. It was also FIFA World Player of the Year in terms of, I think it was myself, Ronaldo, and George Weah as well. But I went to the awards night, fully expecting and hoping to win it after the year I had in '96, top scorer in the tournament, extra doing, scored goals in the league also as well. So. And then got my move to Newcastle and continued to score goals. So I was really confident going into it. So then to get to the awards and finish third, and then there was like a dinner or a party afterwards, and I had the right hump because I just felt as if I should have won it. I thought, I'm not going, and I didn't end up going to the awards.
Al, that's terrible, Al. If you're going to be third, Al, I'm really disappointed with you with that, Al. Third with that company.
And I always remember looking at the pictures now, and that ridiculous. Just before Wrighty says it, the suit that I had on was horrendous. The chest-high suit, it was awful. I know it was. You don't have to say it, Wrighty.
It was Giant Haystacks' suit he lent off of it. It was like, I couldn't believe how big the chest. It was chest size. It wasn't waist size. It was up here. His belt was here. But I was proud of him. I'm proud of you, Al.
I can't speak too much about some of the ensembles that have been wearing that showed up in some of these archive footages. You think to yourself, how did I ever wear that? But actually, your story is a little bit similar to mine, Alan. In '86, in those days, the Ballon d'Or was just for players born in Europe, bizarrely. Otherwise, obviously, Diego Maradona would have walked it. But I thought I was a shoo-in. I'd won the Golden Boot on the Barcelona, top scorer in English league, all this and stuff. And it ended up. It was voted by journalists back in those days, and they'd never had an Eastern Bloc winner. And they all got together. And everybody voted for a bloke called Igor Belanov, who scored.
No way!
He scored a great goal in the '86 finals, like top corner, blasted it. And aside from that, he really didn't do very much anywhere at any time. And I'm still slightly bitter, I have to say, to this day.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, you're not bitter by any chance, are you?
Yeah. Let it go.
And then I finished They used to have the World FIFA Award as well alongside it, like you said, Alan. And I think that was quite rightly won by Maradona. And then I think Careca, the Brazilian, was second. I was third. I was perfectly happy to be in that company. Yeah. Ian, you were shortlisted in '95. You know who won that year?
Who?
George Weah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't mind George pipping me, because I think that's what it was. He pipped me.
He just.
But you know what? You know the thing about it is, though, is that just to be mentioned in that.
Exactly.
Just to be among. That for me. That's. I'm not saying that I'm satisfied with it, because obviously you want to go on and on and on. But the fact is, of course, I wanted to do the World Cup and score in World Cups and all that sort of stuff. But I'm just glad my name gets in that, just mentioned in there. That's it. I'm happy. I'll take that.
You'd have got my vote, Wrighty.
Cheers, Al.
The only African player to have won it. And when you consider some of the quality that Africa have produced, that's quite surprising.
Yeah. But I think that if we're going to be told, he is the best. He's the best, though. George Weah is, for me, he's the best African player. Yeah. For me, ever. And
now he runs the country, doesn't he?
Absolutely, Liberia.
Yeah, indeed. Right, let's get on with it. Who wants to start with their 10 to 6? You choose.
Well, I'll start, Wrighty, because you've started every other one.
Okay, Al, no problem. You go,
Al. Go on, Al.
10 to 6, I've gone Roberto Baggio 10. I've gone Rivaldo 9, Luis Figo 8, Kaká 7, and Ronaldinho 6.
Whoa, Ronaldinho 6. Okay. Where do we start? Well, let's start at the bottom. Roberto Baggio, obviously wonderful player, brilliant in Italia 90. Knocked a penalty over the bar, wasn't it? 94 that kind of did it.
94. 94. God.
Italy.
And after having,
I remember that you can always have that picture, can't you, of him standing there when he missed that penalty with his hands on his hips and his head down in that blue shirt. It was an awful picture.
But when he came on the scene, when he got into the Italian squad in 1990 in Italy, and he was obviously Schillaci scored the goals and won the boot that year, but Baggio in that tournament alongside Gaza, for me, were just outstanding. Yeah, outstanding. In his own country, dealt with the pressure. He's one of those players, Baggio, that had to deal with a lot of the pressure because he was that player. He was the number 10. He was the creative player. So I remember him missing the penalty in '94, and he's one of those that when he misses, I'm gutted he misses that. A player of his calibre misses it. I remember Platini in what, 82 or with the Brazil, that great final, Platini misses a penalty. Great players misses penalties, and when you see them do that, you think, oh my God, is he going to be defined by that? Yeah. Is that what he's going to be defined by? It was just like really weird, because football goes to another level when you miss a penalty as that calibre of player in that calibre of tournament. It's just like unbelievable.
Scored in 3 World Cups as well, didn't he? 90, 94, 98 as well. So
he had 660 all-time appearances, 305 goals.
Yeah.
2-time Serie A winner, Italian Cup winner, UEFA Cup winner. I mean, when I do, I will read a few lists out of achievements of these players, and his is a little bit shorter in terms of overall success than perhaps one or two of the others. But to be in this top 10 is quite a statement in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, he play anywhere across the front, couldn't he? Quick feet, great travelling with the ball. So yeah, special player.
Rivaldo, 9, Alan. A sensational footballer, of course.
You know the thing with Rivaldo, I think he gets quite a hard rap simply because of he always causes quite problems for teammates and coaches. What I've read about him and the way he's played, and you saw. I thought that he was magnificent in that final, 2002. As well, but obviously Ronaldo, R9, we would go on to speak about, took all the plaudits for the 2 goals. But Rivaldo at Barcelona in that World Cup, with the way he played, the way he came into the game with his strange body, really slight, but still for the unbelievable goal against Valencia, the overhead kick, and what he done at Barcelona. I think he came after Romario, didn't he?
Yeah, I think
was it after Romario or was it Sonny Anderson? Something like that. But
and what a player, Romario. I mean, he's just before this era.
I know. I know, Mr. Topo King, but Rivaldo, like I say, I was always very impressed with him, but he didn't leave much on me. Yes, he scored great goals, Brazilian, but didn't leave much on me like a lot of people on this list.
Yeah.
But he deserves his place.
And he did one of the great play acting things, didn't he? Remember in the corner?
I think as well, again, that was terrible. Come on. That's the worst I think I've ever seen. We should do one of those as well. That's the worst play acting.
Worst play acting. There you go. That's the top 10 if ever there was one. Up there with the bonkers moments, possibly. So, Alan, this is your 10 to 6. What? I mean, it's difficult. I think you're. I mean, I did a little list myself on the side, but I think my bottom 4 was sort of similar to yours. Certainly, those were the bottom 4 in any kind of order. I mean, Kaká, what a wonderful footballer he was. But,
I know. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah. It seems just mad, doesn't it, putting someone at the bottom of this list. I mean, we'll probably repeat ourselves so many times and say what a great player he was, some ability, or he was incredible at that. So all of them were. It was
that performance at Man United against Man United when he scored. I think he scored a couple of goals, and you hear about him and you see him in the Brazilian team, and he still looked amazing in that team. But I just thought that when I saw him in that game for Milan against United, and the way he got, I think he got Evra and Heinze, Gabriel Heinze, they bumped into each other.
Yeah, on the edge of the box, wasn't it? Yeah.
On the edge of the box, yeah. But it was his overall play in that game. When I watched it, I thought, God, jeez, it's literally, it was an exemplary performance. It was a performance that was nearly perfect. Never gave the ball away. Everything he'd done was positive. It's fantastic.
Kaká was so quick. I mean, he was really elegant as well, wasn't he? And smooth.
Beautiful.
Great vision and scorer of some unbelievable goals.
I think he got an ovation from the United fans, didn't he? Didn't he get applauded? I think where they've done that one or two other players. I think it was 2007, wasn't it? I think off the top of my head, might be wrong. Yeah. So
he struggled with a few injuries though, didn't he?
Yeah, it's particularly at Real Madrid, wasn't it? He started to get injured a lot, and then as is often the case, and your powers sort of wane a little bit, don't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
But he's up there, that's for sure. Luis Figo.
Oh, mate. Yeah. Like the Figo, especially in 2000, he won it in 2000. It was 2000. Figo won it. But I watched a lot of Figo before, leading up to that and everything. And again, another player that's kind of travelled, done his stuff in Italy as well. Obviously, the time when he was at Barcelona, and it's so unfortunate the way it's worked out for him because he was magnificent at Barcelona. Magnificent the way he played. And I remember him with the World Cup, the 2000 World Cup, when I think we were 2-0 up. Paul Scholes scored, Steve McManaman scored, and then he just took over the game. Remember we lost
Euro 2000.
Yeah.
Oh mate.
3-2 we lost. Yeah, that's right. We played in that game, and we were so comfortable. And then he just stepped down the gas, didn't he?
Absolutely flying, and he just took over. Yeah. And when you watch a player, the thing is, Gal, is that when you're watching the World Cup and you just see a player coming into their own on that stage, he'd done it there, and you're just watching it happen. I just thought, what an unbelievable player. And obviously went to Real Madrid with all the stuff that went on there, and still done great stuff there. Another player that
Showed some balls as well, didn't he? Going from Barca to Madrid in the stick that you have to get. I mean, you would know better than we would about that, Gary. But in terms of the abuse that he would have got having to go back,
and probably continuing to get as well.
You just can't imagine doing that. I mean, obviously he's not the only one that has done that. There's been one or two, but he had the old pig's head thrown at him, didn't he? The pig's head.
That's right. Yeah.
When Michael Laudrup went from Barcelona to Madrid, they weren't as vociferous as they were with Figo for some reason. And I know that Michael Laudrup is an excellent player as well, but he didn't get half as much stick. Figo's still getting it to this day. Michael Laudrup probably can walk around in Barcelona, whereas Figo can't.
You got 127 caps for Portugal also. It's an unbelievable player. He went past players as if it was easy to do, wasn't it? It was effortless for him.
Yeah, he glided. Yeah, he glided.
6-time La Liga Player of the Year, 4-time La Liga winner, twice Copa del Rey, 4-time Serie A winner, of course, Italian Cup winner, Portuguese Cup winner. It's there's some impressive lists to be read out here, that's for sure.
We just keep on laughing at the number of achievements to some of these players. You just got to sit and applaud.
Yeah, 6 out of our top 10 are naturally Portuguese-speaking folk. That's quite something as well, isn't it? Really, what is it? Brazil and Portugal. Between both speak Portuguese. I don't know why I wanted to throw that in, but I just thought of it just now and I had a little count.
Yeah, but while you was doing that, I was trying to find Portuguese words or something Brazilian to try and be funny, but I can't do one.
Can't help you with that one.
I was racking my brain.
I couldn't get a... So I think if you've got the bottom 5 here, the top of that bottom 5, Alan, Ronaldinho, I mean, that seems relatively low to me, but I know we're going to come to the other 5 in a minute. But what a gorgeous, gorgeous footballer.
I mean, I'll talk about effortless, the way he went past people, that step over that he had both ways, the number of free kicks, the whip on them, the bend on them, I mean, balance, ball control. But he's one, isn't he, with that pass where he sort of passed it to the left and looked to the right way. The number of times where you saw him do that and take the piss out with players where he gave it one of them. It's unbelievable skill, that.
Yeah. You know, the thing is, I think that the one for me, Gal, is that game against Real Madrid. I think that Samuel Eto'o scored against Real Madrid and then he took over. Yeah. Again, watching that game, and I remember watching it live and it was a performance. It's like, you know, when you watch a game where every single thing that he done, the skill, the one touch, all worked. And for Real Madrid, after he scored the second goal, and this is because they can appreciate all the little touches, all the little things what he's doing, flicking it round over people's heads. So when he scored the second goal and they gave him a standing ovation at the Bernabeu, I don't know what more you can say about a player that he is the player that makes the game beautiful. He's the one. It's beautiful when he's playing.
Yeah. It's so
he's a beautiful guy.
So effortless and
beautiful.
Yeah. And imaginative, and obviously he's a bit of a personality as well.
Yes, he is. But like most of the Brazilians are, they've their natural party side. And what is good about the Brazilians, I remember, you know, when you hear the dressing room and you can hear the music coming out, it never leaves them. The side of them where they're having fun never leaves them in the way they play. And it comes from the beach to the dressing room, whatever the game, no matter how big the game is, World Cup, it's the music, it's the vibe, it's what they play. It's when you go back to Pelé, even when they first won the World Cup in '58 and they went away from the so-called vibe and all that sort of witchcrafty vibe, that's when they went crazy in Brazil. They got it back, won the World Cup '58 and again in '62. Yeah.
He was very close to signing for Manchester United. We've never really, have we, in this country, signed one of the global top stars in their prime. That's still not really happened. It still seems to be Barcelona or Real Madrid that they eventually go to. What do you think it would have been like if we'd have had someone like Ronaldinho in our league?
Oh, can you imagine? I mean, the following that they have anyway is madness. But can you imagine what it would have been like in they strutting their stuff in the Premier League? Yeah, unbelievable.
Why do you think it is that we don't attract the superstar? Now I know we have a lot of the world superstars, but generally they grow here. And then, you know, even like the likes of Ronaldo, he grew here and then he left and still went to to Real Madrid. Why do you think it is that we've never been able to say, right, here's a Messi or someone like that, or one of the great players of all time? They don't come here. Why?
Yeah, but you say that, but like for someone like Messi, you'd have to be the Man United that were all conquering, all seeing, all dancing. Yeah. The Arsenal team, all starting the Invincibles. You hear people like Messi and guys. Even way back, I heard Maradona talking about wanting to play for Arsenal, and people saying, "Oh, I'd like to play for Arsenal. I'd play for Manchester United." But when they get to that level, for them to leave a Barcelona to come to England, whether it's United, even with all those great players, it's almost seen as that.
Yeah, but even then, when a player does decide to move, someone like, let's say, Neymar or Mbappe, or it's still, despite the massive wealth and popularity right around the world of the Premier League, it's still not yet a place where players, the biggest superstars in the game, will come. And I think that will change at some point. And when it does, who knows? We'll perhaps have the biggest stars of all.
I think if anyone's going to do it, you'd have to look at, for me, a resurgent United might be able to attract an Mbappe. You don't know, obviously City with a Pep Guardiola, but like, you'd have to say you could see an Mbappe at the moment at a Liverpool. You could definitely see him at Liverpool. And if United were where they were, you could definitely see that. But if we're talking about it now, I'm thinking I could see Mbappe at Liverpool, but then which one would he fit into? I think that Liverpool at that level where Mbappe could go somewhere like that.
You couldn't see him at Newcastle then?
I'm not sure, Al. I'm not sure I could see him at Newcastle. and I love the tune. I love the tune.
Well, if the Saudi Arabians take over, anyone will be able to afford it. Right, here we go. Ian, your 10 to 6, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. I've gone Roberto Baggio.
Yeah, same.
Luis Figo.
Yeah.
Rivaldo. Then I've gone Kaká.
Yeah.
Van Basten.
Oof. Whoa, stop there, stop there.
Okay, Van Basten. I'm so excited.
Just a minute.
I'm so excited.
Your bottom 4 is the same as Alan's in a slightly different order. Funny enough, same bottom 4 I had, because I think the top six here are just players on another level. Marco van Basten. Let me just read a few of Marco van Basten's stats out, because they really are quite special. 414 appearances, 291 goals, 43 assists, a goal-to-game ratio of 0.7, 3-time Ballon d'Or winner, 92 FIFA's the best winner, 2-time Serie A top scorer, Euro 88 top scorer, that fabulous volley, of course, Dutch Footballer of the Year, European champion, 2-time European Cup winner, European Cup top scorer, 3-time Serie A winner, 3-time Dutch League winner, and 3-time Dutch Cup winner. I mean, it's
Is that all?
And you've got to remember as well, his career was massively inhibited.
Yeah, blighted.
By
injury. He had 3 Ballon d'Ors. He had 3 Ballon d'Ors by the time he's 28 or something. Yeah. He retired when he was 31. He'd already had 2 years off. And when you read that list, what he's already done, I think Fabio Capello said he was one of the best players he's ever trained. He said he was like the best centre forward he'd ever trained. He was like a swan.
Yeah.
And I remember even like Tony, he said he's quick, he could hold it up, he could head, left foot, right foot, he could do everything. When he watched him, he was a hybrid of a centre forward for what he was. He
was a complete centre forward, wasn't he? What you've just listed it there, Righty. There wasn't anything that he wasn't brilliant at.
God.
Yeah. And he was
unbelievable.
I think Tony Adams probably still has nightmares about that 1988.
Yeah, that 88.
The hat-trick.
You know what I mean? I never watched a game with Marco van Basten. Even when you watch his highlight reel now and watch his stuff, he was brilliant, especially when he was with Hullet and Rijkaard.
I was just going to say, he didn't play in a bad team, did he? Both at Milan and for his country. There's some unbelievable players in there, weren't there?
Mm. Jesus.
They do produce some remarkable players and brilliant footballers for a country of population's about, what, quarter of the size of ours. Amazing development of footballers there. Yeah, because they develop them. They focus on a whole different kind of football, and more freedom, more play with freedom and expression. They do that a lot more. And it would have been interesting, guys, if the Dutch won the World Cup in '74 and then
'78, it would have been a different world. Because look what Johan Cruyff done with Barcelona. Could you imagine if they won in '74, how football would have probably changed in the way we played? All of us probably would have been trying to play that Dutch way. You saw what happened with Barcelona with Johan Cruyff. So,
well, how high would Cruyff have been in this list?
No.
Oh, mate, Johan Cruyff. I watched it live. I watched the Cruyff turn live.
Were you there?
We all went outside. No, I'm not there. I mean, on telly when we was at home. In that remember it was that World Cup where it rained in Brazil. Yeah. I was watching Brazil, obviously, and it was raining, and it was the terrible Brazil. They were terrible, and and like Cruyff done that turn, and we literally just went out straight away, up, going outside, trying this turn. It was just amazing. He said he didn't even know it was going to happen. He said it just a natural thing.
That wasn't really a Brazilian team, though, was it? Ian? They weren't Brazilians, were they? It wasn't.
No.
They just kicked people.
Rivellino was playing.
Well,
Rivellino was playing, and
he was all right.
He got to that stage. I think Jairzinho was playing, but it was a Brazilian team that had to come after that '70 team. They had no chance.
Yeah,
they had no chance. But like Cruyff, for me, I was desperate for the Dutch to win that because they were magnificent. Just good. Remember when he got the ball in the first minute in the final? Bam, got a penalty. Oh gosh, what?
Let's talk about that Van Basten volley then.
Oh, I mean, we must talk about that.
It's a wow, isn't it? Oh. It's just a wow, isn't it? It's like the connection, the technique.
That'd be in your top 10 international goals of all time, wouldn't it?
Ever.
There's one. There's another list.
Yeah. But guys, you have to say for the moment as well. You know, for the moment and the occasion, for him to just. Again, you know, it's the freedom of his thought and the way he plays. The ball's coming. He's got no right to hit that from where he was. No one. If we done that and you done it, it's got to miss. For him to hit it like he did, for it to then catch it so perfectly, coming sideways, because he's got to hit it back that way. For him to hit it so it goes up and down in that side, it's impossible. And it's never been done since like that.
It was ridiculous, wasn't it?
Oh, God.
Mad. The technique was just unbelievable. Yeah. Sensational.
Just a bit of a fluke, really. Right, top 5.
That's the best goal ever.
Top 5. Yep. You went second in, so you go first on this one. 5 down to 1, please, and this will be interesting because there's some talent here. Oh, go.
Yeah. So 5. Okay, can I go?
Yes.
5.
He's changing your mind. He's changing his mind.
No, I'm not changing my mind. I haven't changed my mind. So I've gone 5 is Zidane.
Zidane. Okay.
4 Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
3 R9.
Whoa.
3. I thought, yeah. So, go on.
2.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you... Oh, my girls, I've got to go. The girls want me. What do you need, girls? I can't see. Okay, 2, Lionel Messi.
Wow.
1, Cristiano Ronaldo.
What?
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Okay.
Yeah.
C, Ronaldo. Messi, number 1. You're doing that just to be contrary, I know you.
No.
Right, okay.
No.
Let's discuss this then. So why... we'll come to Messi, Ronaldo in a minute. Once we get both of you top 2 or top 3. You've got... It was Zinedine Zidane. I mean, in all aspects of the game, he was wonderful, but perhaps the most amazing thing was his grace. He was almost balletic, wasn't he, when he played football?
Mm. Did you see that, Al, where they done that thing where they put that classical music to him, a whole thing with him in slow motion? Yeah. That, you know when people say poetry in motion, you watch that and then you get it, especially watching the football, because I still feel that the World Cup 1990 with the classical music and Nessun Dorma and all that was still one of the best. And the classical music, alongside someone like Zidane, it really does evoke something of real beauty and artistry at its prime, its form. It's beautiful. He was
the best player I ever played against, Gary. I mean, we've mentioned the word effortless, but in terms of left foot, right foot, touch, technique, just all-round ability, the way he caressed or loved the football with any part of his body, it was just incredible. His close control, the way he went past people, his balance. He was the best player that I ever played against.
You actually played against him, did you?
Played against him a couple of times, England, France.
I played against him as well.
Of course,
and that was the thing that just stood out for me was his balance and his ability to control the ball with either foot.
Yeah.
You know, 2 weeks ago we discussed the top 10 bonkers moments. I think in terms of all-time most bonkers moment had to be, didn't it? The World Cup final. Imagine doing something like that in the World Cup final.
But can I say because the amount of stick... We done a bonkers, which was really good for people to watch because it happened, everybody at home, all the people giving stick. And you know what I mean? We're not celebrating it. But the fact is that... And I'm going to say something now to all you at home. So, if you're not happy about it, then, do what you've been doing, right in. The fact is, if I'm Zidane and Materazzi says what he said to Zidane about his mum, I'm not going to headbutt him in his chest. He is going to know about what I'm going to do to him. And simple as that. Because, for that to happen on that stage, I think Materazzi got away with one. He got away with one. I would not stop chasing Materazzi. After the game, anywhere I see him, if I see him now to this day, if he's in a restaurant, I'll go and confront him again.
I think he knew it upset him, don't you?
Yeah. No, actually, it was his sister. Yeah.
I was at the game, obviously. We were covering it, and we didn't see it, and there was suddenly it all stopped, didn't it? It was quiet, because there was no automatic replay of it, and John Watson was commenting, and he's got what's happened, and then there's a feeling that the fourth official actually told the referee who'd spotted it or something, or somebody had seen it on some replay somewhere, and then it was just. And I'll never forget when the first replay came through, and you went, "Oh my God, did he?"
I know.
Actually do that? Okay.
Mad, isn't it?
I think as well, the picture of him going down the tunnel, and then you could see him and the World Cup. And then I think as well, you have to look at the fact that he's so good, he's so great, that he's done that on that stage, the world watching, and we still talk about his footballing ability. Yeah. So that's saying a lot for him.
What number did you have him, Righty, Zidane?
I had Zidane as number 5.
He's got him 5. I'll tell you what, Alan, let's take your 5 to 1 as well, so then we can work out who we can talk about, who we haven't talked about.
I've gone 5, Marco van Basten. 4, Zidane. 3, Ronaldo.
Which one?
2, Cristiano Ronaldo, number 2. And 1, Lionel Messi.
Okay. Right. Okay, there's one big difference. We're going to come to that shortly. Messi, Ronaldo is always the debate, isn't it? But first, let's talk about the guy that both of you have had as number 3, the Brazilian Ronaldo. It's actually quite a good debate as to who is the best Ronaldo, isn't it, in many ways. Without injuries, I suspect it would very much have been the Brazilian because, what force of nature. Ability-wise, G. I think R9 is better than all of them. Ability. Yeah. Obviously, with the injuries, it didn't help him. But with what happened with him in '98, when he's having a great tournament up to that point, and then whatever happened, then came back 2002 after horrendous injuries. But you just look at his highlight reel. The pressure he's been under right from the off to be the top player. The pressure from having to deliver for Brazil, doing it like he did. Like I say, I've put him 3rd simply because of the 2 people that are above him. But I have to say, it's.
His record at PSV before he went to Barca, didn't he? Bobby Robson signed him at Barcelona. Bobby told me the story when he came to Newcastle that he inquired about me going to Barcelona when I was leaving Blackburn, and he was told I was going nowhere and I wasn't for sale at any price. So then they went and signed Ronaldo instead. So I think you got a good deal, don't you?
They've had a result. What are you talking about?
Absolute result. Had an unbelievable result, yeah. But his goal-scoring record at PSV and then to Barcelona. I mean, look at the clubs that he's played for. Is it PSG, Barca, Inter, Madrid? Milan, it's like, oh my God! I mean, the ability of him.
Yeah. Well, he was one of the Galacticos, wasn't he? The Real Madrid side with obviously Zidane and Beckham et al. What a side that was, wasn't it?
It was really strange how it didn't work out because how Inter Milan got him from Barcelona, because I think that was literally a contractual thing. He was expecting something. I think they kind of reneged on something. And he left Barcelona, went to Inter Milan, which in his prime, and you think to yourself, I cannot understand how that happened with Barcelona, because, like I say, as a number 9 and the number 9, he's the best. He was the best striker.
Remember the huge discussion when it was alleged that, wasn't it, that he obviously wasn't fit, that he was maybe had been forced to play for Brazil with that dodgy knee that he had.
And he played the World Cup in Japan, won the Golden Boot with 8 goals, and he virtually on one leg at that time. He had such a massive scar on his knee, and it inhibited. And obviously you talked briefly about the story of the final in Paris.
Yeah,
and obviously he had some kind of fit or something before in the night, and they didn't know whether he was playing. And that bit of madness for about an hour before the kickoff when he wasn't on the team sheet, and then suddenly he was on the team sheet. I mean, it just shows you how important that individual was, doesn't it?
That's right.
And that Edmundo, remember that crazy Brazilian they had, Edmundo?
Yeah. He was in and then he was
told,
out.
Right, he said, you're playing. And then, could you imagine the manager having to say to him, actually, you're not playing. I can imagine how crazy.
I was at the
World Cup final, you think, I'm playing.
I was there for the cup final. Des was the main anchor then, and I did a kind of reporting role from inside the stadium, and I was with David Ginola, who was our pundit during that World Cup, who'd been left out of the France squad, and he had the absolute raving needle about it. And I did a bit with him before, and a bit with him at half time, and a bit at the end. And if ever someone wanted to hide his emotion. He honestly, the poor fellow was choked not to be part of the World Cup winning squad, but he managed to hide it magnificently. Great guy. So, marvellous footballers. Let's get right here. We go. It's the old Messi and Ronaldo debate. Funnily enough, practically every professional footballer I've spoken to, always has Messi on top. But you, Wrighty, have gone the other way around.
Yeah, I'm not going, because I'm doing it in my... I admire them both.
Yeah,
greatly,
we all do. I think that's important
I refuse now to put them up against each other, because it's the natural thing to do. Cristiano Ronaldo, on what he's done from the time he's been here, the different leagues, everything he's done, the goals he's scored, his work rate, his total drive for perfection and what he's doing, for me, I just think he just pips it for me as the top man in what he does. I think that Messi, like I say, I don't want to go into that. Oh, right, you're talking like this and that. You could say that, but in my opinion,
that's fine.
What Cristiano Ronaldo's done to get himself to where he is, and I'm sure Messi's the same. Messi, Barcelona were the ones you could, with the loyalty to Barcelona, what he has, they were the only ones who wanted to pay for the growth hormones, what he had to take, which cost $9,000 a pop.
How lucky are we that we're able to watch these two guys week in, week out, year in, year out, produce their stuff. Yeah. I mean, we're so lucky to live in this era that we're seeing that standard of football that those two produce. And I've said it years and years and years, is that to get to the top is one thing, but to get to the very top and stay there like these two guys have and deliver, to go into training, to have that hunger, that desire to keep on performing. I mean, look at the appearances that the both of them have had. I mean, Ronaldo is now on 1,000 appearances for club and for country, and that is absolutely bonkers. And the number of goals, 725 goals. Yeah. I mean, the standard that these two have set is.
Well, let me read you out some of their statistics. I know statistics can be a little bit dull sometimes, but believe you me, let's start with Cristiano Ronaldo. As Alan said, 1,000 appearances, 725 goals. He said 220 assists, goal-to-game ratio of 0.72, 5-time Ballon d'Or winner, Premier League Golden Boot, 6-time Champions League top scorer. Won the Euros, of course, in 2016. 5-time Champions League winner. 3-time Premier League winner, twice La Liga winner, Serie A winner. Remarkable. Lionel Messi. Go on, if you want to come in on that.
No. Do Messi's as well. Do Messi's.
I mean, they're similar in many ways. All-time appearances, 856. I think he's 2 years younger. He'll probably end up playing 1,000 as well. Who knows if we ever get back to playing football. Goals, 697. Assists, 289. Goal-to-game ratio, 0.81. 40-plus goals in 10 consecutive seasons. Record for most goals in a calendar year, 91. That was in 2012. Six-time Ballon d'Or winner, one more obviously than Ronaldo. This year just went ahead of him. A six-time Champions League top scorer, four-time Champions League winner, 10-time La Liga winner, 10-time La Liga Player of the Year, six-time Copa del Rey winner, three Club World Cup winners as well. An Olympic gold medal as well to boot in the old way back when. Numbers really that in our day you would say that is impossible.
Yeah, you would have. I mean, in our day, if you had 1 and 2, you were an exceptional player. I mean, these two guys have actually taken goal scoring to a different level. I mean, we did the bonkers a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? I mean, those stats and those numbers are bonkers. I think that when you look at Ronaldo as well, again, I can imagine being a kid and going to like the Russia World Cup and watching him against Spain and him scoring that hat-trick, that free kick and doing stuff like that. Just, the fact that he's gone to different leagues, that's got to be something. That's got to count for something. Testing himself, talking about somebody who continuously pushes himself to the next place. And the point I was trying to make with Messi is I can totally understand the loyalty to Barcelona when he was a child. He had to have those growth hormones go. You might know about it, but the fact is
he's a child,
that they're the ones who've done it. Exactly. So he's loyal to them. And people say, well, yeah, but he didn't move from Spain. Fine. You still cannot ignore his statistics and what he's doing. You can't. But for me, the way that Ronaldo has driven himself to the top, he's just the number one.
No, I mean, Ronaldo's work ethic is unbelievable. What he's done is absolutely incredible, isn't it, really? I mean, and what a goal scorer and a man for the big moment. I mean, look at the caps that Ronaldo's 164 caps as well. So I mean, I can't emphasise the point enough in terms of where the dedication that these guys have to keep on going and get them to go to training every day, to keep on performing year in, year out, because the money they've got is outrageous, but they deserve it. So once you've got that, where do you get that drive from? Where do you get that desire to go again when everyone are asking questions? Can you do it again? These guys have been doing it year after year after year. Do you think perhaps there's an element of the fact that they've had this sort of competition between the two of them that has continued that drive and that ambition to be the absolute best?
Yes, definitely. I think that was without doubt helped the both of them along the way, because I'm pretty sure that after every season or after every month, Ronaldo will look at what Messi's doing, Messi will look at what... And they'll want to go, they'll want to be better, they'll want to do it better than what the other one has done. I don't think there's a doubt about that. Yeah.
Why did you have Messi above Ronaldo, Alan?
It didn't... I mean, you could have tossed a coin, Gary. Heads or tails, isn't it? It's not... I mean, the ability that they have. Ronaldo, you've mentioned it already in terms of... I think he's made himself as good as he is in terms of how dedicated he's been, how he's had to work hard. I think it's probably been more natural for Messi in terms of skill-wise, but it wouldn't bother me. I'm not going to sit here and argue that one's better than the other, because they both are just staggering.
When I try and judge footballers by the joy that they bring, and they both bring an incredible amount of joy. But when I do watch, it's commonly known that I, love watching Messi play. And the reason for that, he seems to do, even on his kind of quiet days, he'll do 4 or 5 things in a football match that you actually go, how the hell did he do that? Wow. And it was just, it's the joyous nature of the game that he brings to the game that I enjoy slightly above what Cristiano's kind of driven, goal-scoring me attitude.
Yeah, but G-Force, what I would say about Ronaldo and his work ethic for a professional player at the top of his game who's got everything, which we're seeing a lot of players now, young players, doing just about a fraction of what people done in the back in the day, and they've got everything. What Cristiano Ronaldo's showing them is, like, even in his 36th year, 37th year, whatever it is, there's no resting on laurels. It's all about hard work and how much better you can be and how great he is. I think he's an unbelievable role model in that respect for the current player.
Totally agree.
Because he's got everything. And,
do you know, also, you have to look at it, Righty, in terms of the pace of the game nowadays, with the number of games that these guys playing, you very rarely see them injured. You can imagine how many people want to kick them, want to take them out of the game over the years. These guys are very rarely injured. They very rarely miss games.
And they're both so strong as well.
We are fortunate. We are fortunate. We are very fortunate, without a doubt.
It is actually, because most players get some kind of injury. I was lucky in my career; I didn't get one right till the very end. But most players, you're going to have a season of injury or something. I think, they've both had things where they've been missing for a couple of months, but not much more than that.
If you go throughout your career without having one serious injury, I mean, yes, they miss the odd game here and there, but in terms of serious injuries,
who would you sooner play with, Messi or Ronaldo?
Wow.
I think that's a no-brainer as a centre-forward. I think that's a no-brainer.
Probably
personally.
Messi.
Yeah.
Because he'd pass to me more.
Exactly.
I don't know. Because I've picked Ronaldo, but...
No, but it's a different question.
I probably want to play with Ronaldo still. I would. I'd want to play with him.
But he shoots from everywhere.
I'd want to play with Messi as well. Yeah, he probably would, but I'd change my game just for him. I'd play
that's what they do, isn't it? I mean, that's,
Well,
you have to, because if you got someone that good, they did it Man United and Real Madrid.
Yeah, we done it, Dennis. You kind of like cater yourself to the player, so you make sure that it's like build your team around that player. Yeah. That's what you do. I didn't get built around.
I'm sure you did, Ian. It must have happened.
I didn't get built around.
No? Did you not insist on it? Did you not have that built into your contract? I must be built around.
No, I didn't have anything built around. Only my girls with the Lego.
This top 10 is the fantastic top 10, obviously. Do you think defenders are unfairly treated? Because there's not a defender in sight. Obviously, Cannavaro is the only one that springs to mind that's won the Ballon d'Or in the Premier League time.
Yeah.
But we don't feel sorry for them, do we?
You sort of said it yourself, didn't you, Gary, in terms of the entertainment, in terms of what people want to see, with flashes of brilliance, producing a moment of magic, whether that be a free kick or a shot from 30 yards or an overhead kick, then that's why that list is like it is, in terms of these guys can do all that. And that's what people... most people pay their money for, is to see something spectacular and the ball go on the back of the net.
Okay, totally agree with you. As always, before we head off, give us your top 10, 10 to 1. Ian, starting with you.
So I've gone Roberto Baggio, Luis Figo, Rivaldo, Kaká, Van Basten, Zidane, Ronaldinho, R9, Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Okay, and Alan?
I've gone Roberto Baggio, Rivaldo 9, Luis Figo 8, Kaká 7, Ronaldinho 6, Marco van Basten 5, Zidane 4, Ronaldo 3, Cristiano Ronaldo 2, and Lionel Messi 1. Okay,
obviously it's tied there at the top, and as always, when it's tied, I get the overall say and decide our winner. And I think you know
who you're saying then.
No, well, yeah, I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of both, and I also hesitate when I do this, because as soon as you say one, the fans of the other guy go potty, or vice versa. So it doesn't matter. Yeah. But genuinely, for reasons of the joy that he gives football and the things that he does and the goals that the beauty of his football, has to be for me Lionel Messi. That won't surprise anyone at all. But for me, he's just it's another debate about whether he's the best of all time, and sometimes those debates are very difficult because conditions change so much over different eras. But for me, since I've finished playing, since I've started watching football rather than playing it, Lionel Messi has definitely been the best. And I never thought anyone would get close to Maradona, but he certainly did. Thanks very much, chaps. We have our definitive list of top 10 Ballon d'Or winners in the Premier League era. we'll be back next week.
Bye, mother-in-law. Bye to my mother-in-law. I've got to say bye to my mother-in-law, gal. Bye, mother-in-law.
You didn't swear at all.
I did not swear once, Mama.
Bye. Thank you for downloading Match of the Day Top 10. Even without sport going on in the wider world, there's still plenty of good stuff to keep you occupied on BBC Sounds. 5 Live's Football Daily with Mark Chapman and Wrighty on most Mondays. The latest series of That Peter Crouch podcast. 5 Live Boxing with Costello and Bunce. And Rugby Union Weekly, to name just a few. Thanks for listening.
Hello there, Peter Crouch.
Chris Stark.
And Tom Fordyce. From That Peter Crouch podcast here.
We all know it's really important for everyone to practice social distancing.
So that means only leaving your home for essential trips and maintaining a gap of 2 metres or 6'6" between you and everyone else when you're outside your house. Now, if those numbers seem a bit random, it's the length of a king-size bed, it's the height of a standard door, it's the length of a surfboard, or for us three on this podcast, it is the distance from Peter Crouch's shoes to his eyebrows.
Exactly. Don't be a 1 metre Michael. You need to be a 2 metre Peter. So, stay at home.
Protect the NHS. Save lives. 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 NHS. Save lives.